Hello, welcome to another podcast episode of How to Run Profitable Retreats. I am your host, Lainey Cavazos, and I'm so thrilled to be here with you today and to share all this exciting news. So, for all of you who have been here for a while, you know I host this program Mastering the Art of Retreat Planning, where you learn from A to Z on how to run your next retreat. And the intakes for our next group that starts in August is already open. So if you're interested in joining this program, you can go below in the caption and just book a call to find out if that's the right fit for you and if this is the right time for you to start your retreat journey. Remember that it's so important that when we are doing this process, we do it with time. Retreats take a longer period of time than running an online course. So being prepared and getting everything ready for that step in your business, it's crucial for your success. And also, why would you want to have to learn everything by yourself when there is a collective of amazing people who have already been through that process? So I invite you, if this is the right thing for you, if you feel this itch inside of you where you want to go ahead and host retreats, to just go for it, right? Book a call. There's no commitment. Figure out if this is the right thing for you, if you're ready for it, or for when will you be ready? Figure that out. What are you missing? Where can you upgrade your space? And we can go from there. All right, so let's go and deep dive into today's episode where I'm going to be talking about the top 3 mistakes when hosting retreats. Thank you for being here. Hello, welcome to this amazing training for today of the top 3 mistakes when hosting retreats. I'm Lainey Cavazos. I'm the founder of the Retreat Planner, and I'm so excited to be able to guide coaches, therapists, and wellness professionals into the space of hosting transformational retreats where you can make them heart-centered but also profitable. I want to invite you to always think about if you're already hosting retreats, if there's a space for improvement, if there's somewhere where you can take your business next. How much money are you actually making per hour if you're hosting your retreats? Are you paying yourself a salary for actually facilitating the retreat? Or are you just doing it as you see everyone else is doing, right? It's so important because so many times we are just a few steps away from making it a business that actually thrives. Okay. So thank you so much for being here with me. And let's just jumpstart into mistake number 1. And you might be thinking, right, maybe the first mistake is actually the sales part, right? And actually, the first mistake when it comes to retreats and what I've seen with hosting so many retreats myself and actually helping hundreds of people to host their retreats is the name. Yes, you hear it right. The name. There's different ways on how you can choose a name for your retreat. I'm not going to go into that today. But the reality is that if you don't choose a name that really represents what you're doing, what you're offering from this retreat, it's very easy for people to get confused. One of the biggest things that you can see sometimes out there in the market is Retreat in Bali. Do you actually know what will happen inside of it? Is there a specificity? Are we actually talking to our ideal client? Is it just too broad that it gets lost in the masses, right? So make sure that your name really is compelling and it states the fact of what people are going to get. Start qualifying your clients from the name, from the beginning. That is one of the big pieces that will draw people into your retreats. If it's not specific enough, you can get very lost in translation. Okay. So, mistake number 1, the name. Really go deeper into this space where you can understand and actually go through the place of sharing it with people and asking, can you please explain to me what do you understand from this name? What do you think you're going to get? Go and test it before you even put it out there in the market. Go to ask your friends, possible clients. Just ask for help. People love helping. So really think about it when you're choosing your retreat and just deep inside of you, what do you want people to get? What is the transformation that you're offering inside of your retreat? What's the main point of people going there? And even go deeper into the space, right? So a lot of people will go with the name and be like, oh, relax, reset, and rejoice, retreat. Awesome. But what are the deeper value? What is the benefit of actually being able to relax, rejoice, and reset? How is that going to impact their lives? I love an example of thinking about the value of a retreat from the space of like maybe it's a retreat for couples. Yeah. So let's say it's a retreat where people who are about to get divorced go in a last resort, right? To go fix it or see if there's a possibility or if they can have an amicable separation. The value of the retreat is not the retreat itself. It's all the things that you can get from going there. So let's imagine you go there, you're amazing, right? You have an amazing time with your husband, and you find out ways on how you can communicate better, on how actually the things that were not working can work for you better. When you do that, then suddenly you don't have to get divorced because you communicate better, right? Simple. What are the repercussions of not getting divorced? And let's talk about the financial piece first, so we get it out of the way, right? So you don't have to pay for an attorney. In California, an attorney can go up to like $50,000, right? So that's a huge saving just for going to one retreat. Then maybe you're saving from therapy. Maybe you're saving actually from the space of having to pay for two separate households, right? So the financial benefits of this retreat are already huge. But it goes deeper than that, right? So, what will happen if you actually have a healthy relationship with your husband? You're going to fight less. So, you're going to have less stress in your life. That's going to take you into lower cortisol levels, right? You're going to be more relaxed, less stress. You're going to be able to love more people, to share more time with your family. You know, your kids might be happier because of that, because they don't have to go through the whole process of like being separated and having to figure out what happens in their lives and what does it mean to be in two households, splitting holidays, right? Like having to share Christmas or whatever. So there's all the different layers of the benefits of your retreat. I want you to really think about those. Don't just leave it as it is, as a one thing, right? Go deeper, really dig into the space of like, what's the 10-year result of going into this retreat, right? Like, does this mean that you all get to go on holidays together when like to a place you always dreamt to go as a kid? Maybe it's Italy. Really go deep into the space. Think about where it can take you. Like, where is that going? Like, go beyond, right? Go beyond just the dates when the retreat is taking place. If you're running retreats for business, right? What is it going to happen when you actually grow your business and you make it more profitable? What are the benefits of that? Really, a retreat is not just about the retreat itself, it's about the repercussions of changing your life, of transforming something from one thing that it was to the next thing that it wants to become. That's the beauty of retreats. It's this deep container of transformation where people come and they shift their lives because they come with this intention. They know what they want. They're clear about what they're going to get. And they need it, they want it, and they know they want it. Yeah. So mistake number one, the retreat name. I know it seems simple, but so many times when we shift the name of the retreat, it starts selling. We've done this so many times with clients. Sometimes we just need to go back into the drawing board and figure out, is the name of the retreat actually portraying the whole value of the retreat? Are you actually giving yourself credit for who you are and everything that you have done into this process? Now let's move into mistake number two. And you might think again, well, it's definitely sales. No. Mistake number two is actually the pricing. Not knowing how to price your retreat properly, first of all, for you to be able to make a profit so you can keep showing up into the world. What happens when we host retreats? Retreats do take a lot of energy. I'm going to say, like, retreats are not for the faint of heart. Yeah. Like, this is not an online course. This is not a pre-recorded program. It's not a pre-recorded meditation. It requires time. It requires people to actually be able to join on a certain date, pay for the price, see the value, see the benefits. Like there's many things coming into the space. Yeah. So if you really want to do retreats and change people's worth in person, right? You're tired of the online space. You're like, oh my gosh, yes, I love my online courses, but I need more. I actually need to see my clients face to face. Then you want to make sure that you can keep doing it in the future, right? That it's not a one-time thing or 1 year and then you're burnt out and you're like looking at your numbers and saying, oh my gosh, like, well, yes, I worked for so long and I made $10,000, $8,000, $4,000. And I spent 6 months promoting this retreat. So pricing is key. So many times also, we don't price first for profit. We don't really consider the profitability of running it as a business, not as a hobby, not as a freelancer, not as a nice thing to do. So it pays for your trip to Bali or Italy or wherever you want to go. Maybe it's Iceland. It goes beyond that. It's about how do you create a business that can keep going and returning into the future. It's about thinking, do you pay yourself a fee for being a facilitator? Oh, yes. What if you want to grow your business and you want to scale your business? Eventually, you want to have many retreats throughout the year, and you don't want to be the one facilitating each single one of them. In your pricing, you have to put that into consideration. So think about it. Pricing, it's important. Also, sometimes we don't price for certain little things that we forget. And suddenly, we're $200 less on our profit because we didn't count for it. I remember I was talking to this amazing yoga teacher who does yoga teacher trainings. And she's like, when I do my pricing, I even quote the incense. She's like, I go through $200 of incense per retreat. Like it's a 20-day, right, thing. So she goes through tons of incense. But you get my point. When you go through the process and then suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot to budget for the candles. I really want candles. And then you go buy the candles. Well, that's eating from your profit. You should take those details into consideration. It's so, so crucial that you really see this as a proper event, right? So let me take this out from the retreat space and into the event space, right? So I've been running events since I'm 15 years old. I've done dinners in front of the Giza pyramids. I've done private concerts for Craig David, Dubai Jazz Fest, you name it. So as I was working, I had a budget to run these events. And if I didn't quote for everything, then suddenly I would not have money. Imagine if I forgot to quote for the food. You cannot have an event without food, right? Like this kind of events, let's say. So we want to really think about the little details, because if you run out of budget, and let's say you were working for an event agency, the client will tell you, well, I gave you a budget and that's it. That's all the money we got. There's no more. What will happen? You'll have to take from your profit to pay for these things that you forgot to add into your quotation. Yeah. So bringing it back into the retreat space. It's very, very simple to forget to add costs that are so important. I see a lot of people going through the retreat sales process and everything, and then suddenly you're like, well, I want to do ads. Okay, well, maybe a lead for an ad for a latest one that they did, they were spending $60 per lead. They're like, well, I didn't quote for these inside of the cost of the price point of the retreat. So then you don't have the money for that. And I'm not saying you have to run ads, right? But it's just an example. So if you don't think about a marketing budget, or I don't know, if you have to hire a designer to do the layout for your poster or for your website building or all these kind of things, contracts, legal pieces, right? By the way, we take care of all of that inside of like mastering the art of retreat planning. So you can go through that. Okay. All right. So that was mistake number 2, pricing. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself and your business first, right? It's kind of this place of like self-care. Like, how can you give away something when your cup is empty? Does that make any sense? Like, if your cup is empty, how can you give more, right? So make sure you take care of yourself, you take care of your business, and you treat it as a business. You don't treat it as anything else, because it is a business. Yes, a business that changes people's lives. Isn't that amazing? A business that impacts people in a positive way. So really take care of yourself. Yeah. If you can take anything from here, it's take care of yourself. If you are like me, right? And like in human design, I'm a manifester. So basically I have ebbs and flows of energy. Sometimes I have so much energy, and then sometimes I have to rest, and that rest can take a while. So I budget inside of my retreat the downtime after, right? Sometimes, most of the times, I go and I check myself into a nice, beautiful hotel to go and rest and take care of me. Yeah. So it's very, very important that you also take care of this in your business. What are your personal needs? What do you want to get out of hosting retreats? It's not just about the other side. It's not about giving, 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 and then empty cup. Yeah. It's about planning it in a way where you take care of you so you can give so much. Okay. Now, let's move into space of the mistake number 3. Yeah. And yes, retreat mistake number 3, marketing and sales. Yes, 100%. It's a piece of it. And in this space, I am not talking about like you need to have 100,000 people community in order to launch a retreat, because it's not true. Like there are people out there that every single client from when they come into their retreats first, they're new people that they've never met before. Is it easier when you have a community? 100%. Does it mean you cannot build a business with the right marketing strategies? Hell no. So many times what we do is we wait. We're like, let me wait until this happens or this and that happens, and then I'll be able to go do that. So many times we just need to take that leap and figure out what's the right process for us, not for everyone else, for me, for my needs, right? I spoke about like energy flows and everything else. So bring that into the space. Really, really, really connect with who you are and what you want to bring into this world, and go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into how do you want to create your business. But without having a marketing strategy and a sales process, you are setting up yourself for a hard time. So many times we just want to go and be like on Facebook or Instagram and just post. And we hope that that will be the thing that sells out our retreats. And then I have a bonus for you just in a moment. So stay with me. Yeah. So really thinking about having a proper marketing strategy and a sales process. Okay, amazing. You have a great marketing strategy, right? It's working. You have your like customer journey. It's working. You're getting the leads, and then the time to sell comes and you don't have a process and you don't know what to do with all these people. Do you take them on a call? Do they do an application process? What's your sales process? How do you take someone from being interested into an actual paying client? How do we cross that bridge? It is a bridge, yeah? So think about it properly. You do deserve to have a successful business. You are amazing already. You have so many qualities that you might even forget. This happens to me all the time, right? Like, it's not just you, it's me as well. Like, people have to come and remind me, like, oh, but you're just great at that. Like, you're so good at public speaking. You're good at, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. Right? Or sometimes I have to have like a crucial conversation, or I have to just set a boundary, and I forget it's on my skill sets. It's just natural there. So I don't list it as a thing that, oh, I'm great at this. So really go deep into this space of realizing that you are great, that you don't need more certificates in order to be able to host retreats. You don't need anything else than actually a process, a training, a system, a method that takes you from step A to step B. That's it. And if you're interested, I can be that person for you. Okay. I'll be happy to guide you through the process. Let me give you some examples before this bonus kind of thing that I want to share with you. Yeah. So I like to believe that there's no cookie cutter strategy. So many, let's call them marketing gurus, right? Will come into the space and someone will come and tell you, you know what, this 4-hour masterclass, it's all you need in your business to actually make $1 million. And then someone else is going to be like, no, you need a funnel that takes people through this buying process where they get something for free first, then a low ticket, then they get a mid ticket, and then they start building trust, and then they're going to go and buy your high ticket. Other people will come and tell you, well, you only need a high ticket program. You don't need anything else. That's it. You just take them from 0 to high ticket program. Other people will come and tell you, podcast is the only way to build a business. I am the person who tells you bullshit. There's one way that works for you based on your energy. If you do not like being behind the scenes and someone comes to you and tells you, well, the best way for you to grow a business is being a YouTube influencer, does it gonna work? Or the only way to do it is go do funny videos on TikTok. Does that gonna work for you? Like for me, that doesn't work. I do not want to be the person dancing and making these funny moves on TikTok to grow my business. It's not in my energy. It's not in my style. It's not in my personality. I like to talk to people. I like to get to know them. That's why all my programs have this process where you actually get on a call with me beforehand. So we figure out if this is the right thing for you or not. Now, let me take you through some examples of some of my previous clients. So this will give you an idea of like how you can actually build a retreat business that it's yours. So let's talk first about Tiffany, right? So Tiffany, she has 2 different types of retreats. So she has her quarterly retreats, right? That are everything she does mainly is for moms, right? And people with families. But she has these quarterly retreats that are based on the medicine wheel. So if you've heard of the medicine wheel, it really takes you through the different phases of the year, and each 3 months or each season of the year has a different animal that it connects with, different methodologies, different tools, different practices that you can do. So every quarter she has these retreats and they do great. And these are her like higher ticket retreats. Now, she also offers silent retreats that are just a weekend long, so over 2 nights. And she actually treats them as a lead magnet. She doesn't do so much money from the retreat itself, but actually the people inside of the retreat, these are larger retreats where there's like 22 people, they're upsold into her other programs. So she is actually making a huge business for herself because of this. So have you ever thought about having retreats as a lead magnet? There's not many people doing this, right? Then let's talk about Lauren. Lauren, she lives in California, right? She lives in Orange County, beautiful place. But she used to live in Thailand, especially Chiang Mai, for many years. And she really wanted and desired to take people to go experience Chiang Mai with her. But she cannot live her life and move back to Thailand because she has a job, she has things, she has a family, right? She has a partner, she has a life in California. So we figured out that the best way for her to do retreats is to go for 2 months to Thailand per year and host 4 retreats. 4 retreats are going to make her 100K. Yeah, you hear it right. Because she did the numbers. She really takes into consideration all her experience, everything that she's done, and she is bringing a luxury retreat. As Tiffany and as Lauren, there's many different ways, right? And you can see many different styles outside in the world. you can find your own. And this is what I excel at, really finding out how your dream life wants to look like, and then making a business out of it, right? So we do things the other way around. So really think about it. It's not about like, well, I'm going to start my retreats and then that they're going to fit into my life. It's like, what life do I want to live? And then how does the retreat fits into this life? Okay. All right. So having a proper strategy and having something that really resonates with who you are and the life that you want to build, it's so important because it's going to be yours. It's not going to be me coming and telling you this is the only way, and if you don't do it this way, it's not going to work. No, no, no. I want you to come and join me in this path where you actually get to discover how does that look like for you specifically, based in if you have kids, if you don't have a kid, if you have a dog. I have a dog. Every time I go and I host a retreat, I need to figure out what do I do with my dog, right? So really take it into space. And then number 4, and I wouldn't call this a mistake per se, but I want to talk about this. It's the mindset. Yeah, it's a mindset piece. And this is something that we really go deep inside of my programs, because it's okay if you have the amazing marketing strategy and sales like process, like you can hire the best marketing guru to do all that for you. But if you're stepping on your own way, it's not going to work. Me personally, I can tell you, like for the past couple of days, like my business was doing so great and I started getting a little bit like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Like things are shifting. And what I did, I got myself into the space of actually sabotaging myself by going and reading 7 books in 5 days. I know, it's my addiction. So what I did now, like then I was like extremely tired because I was spending all my time reading, right? Reading / hiding. This is a piece of mindset, right? But it's about the awareness. It's about how we shift it, right? So I was like, okay, I can see me. I'm doing this. Now, how do I shift that into a positive note for me and for my business? So that let's do a little of a recap in this space. Mistake number 1, the name of your retreat. Mistake number 2, the pricing of your retreat, missing the pieces. Yeah. And mistake number 3, not having a marketing and sales process in place. And then the key, the most important thing for you to be able to sell your retreats is actually having the mindset and having this connection with who you are and what you want to create, and really reconnecting with the impact that you're creating in other people's lives. Seeing that if you get to change one person's life per day, the world is going to be a better place already. Becoming aware of what you're doing to step on your own way. We all have limiting beliefs inside of us. Some, they might come from this life. Some might come from past lives. Who cares? They're limiting beliefs and they're stopping us from really showing up into our full expansion of who we are. So I invite you, if, right, you've been thinking for a while about hosting retreats and you don't know how to make it work, or you've been hosting a couple of retreats, but they're not doing as well as you could, right? You might be like, well, this retreat actually could make a lot more money and it's selling or it's not, or whatever. I invite you to really think about the process of like, what would happen if I actually get some help? What if someone who already knows what they're doing comes and holds my hand through the process? How would that feel in my body? How does that feel? Does that feel better? Does that feel a little bit more strenuous? Does it feel a little bit scary? What is the emotion? And where is that emotion coming from? And then really take the time to think about it in this space right now, right here, in this moment. If I go through that fear, that's maybe I feel scared, maybe I feel scarce, whatever that is, right? Maybe I feel super excited already of working with someone else. how would my life change? How would my life change if I take this step? If I go and I actually work with someone who knows and freaking cares about me. You can talk to any of my past students. We are all still connected because I want more people hosting retreats out there that are transformational, that are making money, so you can actually keep doing it in the future. So it's not just like an adventure for a little while. It's something that sticks. It's a business that you maybe one day you might want to sell out. Yeah. So really think about it and see, how would I feel if I actually get to host these retreats, or these retreats are really fulfilling my heart and making, like, they're really in their highest version of themselves. How would that feel? If it feels great, and then the piece is like, well, I don't know exactly how to do that, then you might be the right fit for mastering the art of retreat planning. Yeah. Simple as that. No more complications than that. Yeah. If it feels like that, just book a call with me. The links are below in the caption. Super simple. We spend a little bit of time together and we figure it out together. If it's not your right time, I'll tell you. You always have the choice to say no. It's okay. But if there's a little bit of an itch inside your body and you're thinking, well, maybe, yes, this would be the right thing for me, then book a call with me. Go for it.